movie nerds, and welcome back to Cinematic Sarcastic, a podcast that talks all things movies and television. I'm Natalie, and I'm your host. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about the Mayfair Witches. This is a new drama that just dropped a couple of days ago, I want to say. This is kind of the Interview with the Vampire sister clan. So Anne Rice has two larger book series, that being the Vampire Chronicles, and then this one, which was the Mayfair Witches. And this one centers around a character named Rowan, who is a witch. She kind of doesn't know it, but she learns that she is a witch and goes through these stories. Now, I have read all of Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles, but I have not read any of Anne Rice's Mayfair Witches. It wasn't something that interested me at the time. Like when the books were coming out, I was much more interested in the Vampire Chronicles than I was in Mayfair Witches. I think that there is only one episode so far that has come out of Mayfair Witches, and quite frankly, that's enough for me. I have not watched the new version of Interview with the Vampire that they did, the new television series that they put out, because to me it changed enough things that I knew it wasn't going to be the story that I was looking for. Like it wasn't going to be true to Anne Rice's works, and I am going to just go out on a limb and assume that the Mayfair Witches television series also doesn't. I don't know. This one is a hard for me kind of review because I am not familiar with the books enough to go, is this good or bad based on what the books were? But not knowing the books, this show is so bad. It's so bad. I was so confused through like 90% of it because it's trying to cram a whole bunch of information into one episode that I feel like if you've got a series, like this is a television series, it's not a film, you have time to sort of explain these things and bring them to light over multiple episodes. But there's so much stuff that's like shoved into that first episode that for like half of it, I thought Rowan was Deirdre Mayfair. Like I thought they were the exact same character, just at different times. You know, like one when she was maybe like a teenager and then one when she was older, and then Deirdre's character got pregnant and I was like, oh, okay, maybe no. And it took me a while to piece together that like Annabeth Gish was Deirdre but older, and so then it was like her younger that was also having this thing, and the character of Lasher. Like I've read little excerpts and stuff of Mayfair Witches, and Lasher in the series, like the book series, doesn't sound anything like I was expecting once I saw him on the screen. Like it was very creepy, he was creepy, and I don't feel like that's the point. Like I get that it's sort of like witchcraft, and I think that he, I think this is my assumption, I think that he is meant to be like the dark side of witchcraft, and then you have like the aunts and this whole group of people trying to, you know, protect Rowan, who I think are meant to be like the light side of witchcraft. But golly, I mean, neither one of them, like neither side seemed like a side I wanted to be on. So I don't know. I mean, this show was just, and the acting was really bad, which I found kind of surprising because individually, all of the people that they got, like all of the actors and actresses that are in this, I have enjoyed in other things. So looking at like the cast, this would not have like, it wouldn't have fit for me that it would have been so bad. Like, I don't know what their attempt here was to do. Like, were you trying to make it seem terrible or was this the best you could do? Like, I don't know. And I know that like Christopher Rice is still, you know, alive and well, and I am assuming that he is running Anne Rice's estate at this point. So it has to be, I'm guessing it has to be him that maybe finished up the contracts for his mother in order to like have these television series produced and like actually made. So does he just not care if they're done well. I don't know. I mean, it just is a little surprising to me how poor quality this television series seems to be, when I know that Anne Rice's way of writing is so rich and so detailed. And I mean, she didn't carry on these chronicles of like the Vampire Chronicles. I want to say has like 10 books or more. I'm assuming the Mayfair Witches have equally that number. So you're telling me from all of that, you couldn't salvage and make like a decent television series? Like, I'm starting to wonder, honestly, if like HBO is the only company that can make something good, because I don't know. I was expecting quite a bit better, if I'm honest, from this television series. And I don't know how people are receiving it, but for me, this is not a win. So I would not recommend watching Mayfair Witches. I am actually more interested now in reading Anne Rice's Mayfair Witches, like the books, just because I know for a fact they can't possibly be this horrible. And so now I kind of want to know what the real story is, because my interest has peaked. Like, what's the good version of this drivel? But that's about all I've gotten out of it. So if you've already read Mayfair Witches, avoid this television show for sure. It's not going to be something that you're like, yes, these are my favorite characters and I get to see them come to life. It's not going to be that for you. So those are my thoughts on the new television series Mayfair Witches. I would love to know your thoughts if you've seen this one. Subscribe if you want to join the movie nerd family. You can find me on Instagram at Cinematic Sarcastic Podcast, and I hope to see you in the next episode.